Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to art class. As usual, I'm just going to wait a little bit, stall for a few minutes while everybody logs on. This week we are talking about color in art class. On Monday we did a color mixing experiment with some water. Hi John, welcome to art. We also experimented with mixing paint on Monday. On Tuesday, you all worked with Miss McCown and you drew a sunrise using only warm colors. Yesterday, we did a scavenger hunt on Very Good Farms and we found something of every color of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And then we drew those objects. Thank you all for joining me for that lesson. I went really long. When I'm doing the live videos, I don't have a clock on my phone, so I didn't even realize how much time had passed. So I hope that you all hung in there with me, and today we'll make it a little more short and sweet. Okay, today we're going to focus on cool colors. Let's see, Alina is here. Hi Alina, welcome. And Jake Jenkins. Hi Will, welcome to art class. We're just waiting for everybody to log on. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get here before we all get started. Today we're going to be drawing and then painting. So I'm going to use a Sharpie and then watercolors. But if you don't have watercolors at home, that is a-okay. You can use markers, color pencils, crayons. We're trying to make these live lessons flexible so that whatever you have at home will work for you. Okay. Hi, Colin. Hi, Preston. Hello, AJ. Come on in and get settled, guys. And we'll get started with art class. So like I said, I'm going to be painting. It looks like the Ben is here. Welcome, Ben. And let's see. Yes, absolutely. And good morning. Hi, nice to see you, Casey. Okay, so today I'm going to be using watercolors and a Sharpie. I'll draw first and then we're going to paint our drawing. But if you don't have paint at home, that's okay. You can use any other coloring material that you have, okay, whatever mediums you have. Looks like Nick is here. If you are using watercolors, you're also going to need a paintbrush and a cup of water so that you can clean your brush off, okay? All right, we'll give it just a few more minutes. Today we're learning about cool colors. We're just gonna do a simple cool color, draw along, and then color it in. Sean, welcome to art class. We're really loving the feedback that we're getting from all of you. Thank you for letting us know what's working, what's not working, so that we can make these lessons appropriate for each of you. Also, these lessons were, as you can see, the people who are joining us, we have students from the youngest elementary age all the way up to postgrads joining us. So we're trying to make these lessons accessible for everybody. But if they're not reaching you or your student in the ways that you need, please let us know so that we can better serve you all. Okay. Hi, Caleb. Welcome. Leanne is here. And Noah, welcome to art class. Hello. Hi, Kian. Hi, Poppy. All right. Looks like a lot of people are here joining us. I'm so happy to see all of you today. One more time, just since more people are joining, today we are going to be doing a drawing and then we'll use watercolor to fill it in. We're focusing on cool colors. So I'll use a Sharpie. Then I'll use watercolors. If you're painting also, then you'll need a cup of water and a paintbrush. So I'm just giving you guys time to get all set up. If you're not painting, that's totally fine. You can do this project with color pencils, crayons, markers, chalk, even if you have that at home. Looks like Reese is here, and Amber, Harula, and Zach. Wow, we have a big class today. I'm so happy to see all of you guys. And John, welcome. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the Calm Classroom and then we'll jump right into things. Who else? And Emma? All right, good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Cordell, yay! The names just keep popping up on my feed. I love seeing that you all are here. It's great to see you. Okay, so for our Calm classroom today, we're gonna do butterfly breathing. You guys can all join in, or if you need to take this time to go gather your materials, either painting or drawing, then you can go do that, okay? So go ahead and get comfortable. We are going to practice butterfly breathing. Sit up straight and comfortably in your chair. Relax your shoulders back and down. Let your whole body be still. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. And feel the air moving in and out of your nose. Interlace your fingers and place them under your chin. Inhale, raise your elbows up to the side. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, elbows 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 down. You can lower your hands to your desk or your lap. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your attention back to your breathing. Notice the air moving in and out of your nose. Take a deep breath in, hold, then slowly exhale. Notice how you feel, and slowly open your eyes. Thank you all for joining me in that Calm classroom. Okay, this week we are focusing on color in art class. We have talked about all the colors of the rainbow. On Monday, we did color mixing with water and with paint. On Tuesday, you did a warm color art project with Miss McCown. On Wednesday, yesterday, we did a scavenger hunt for color on Very Good Farms, finding all the colors of the rainbow, and then we drew what we found. And today we're going to do a cool colored art project. So I'm going to hold up some markers. Okay, let me put them in our order of the rainbow. Okay, this is just a visual for you guys to see the colors of the rainbow. Okay, so we have, there we go. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Remember that red, yellow, and blue are the three primary colors. We mix red and yellow together to make orange. We mix yellow and blue to get green. And red and blue combine to make purple. And that's how we get all the colors of our rainbow. Our primary colors come first. So that's red, yellow, and blue. Our secondary colors are second. That's orange, green, and purple. Those are the colors we get by mixing our primary colors. Okay? The colors of the rainbow can be divided in half to get warm colors and cool colors. When you worked with Miss McCown on Tuesday, I keep dropping my markers. My hands are slippery, that's okay. Okay, so on Tuesday with Miss McCown, you all used red, orange, and yellow watercolors to make a beautiful image of a sunrise. These are your warm colors. Today, we're going to use green, blue, and purple, the cool colors, to make an image of some mountains at nighttime. Okay, so you should have two projects by the end of this week. One is daytime with warm colors. One will be nighttime with cool colors. Okay, are you guys ready to get started? Let's start drawing. For the first part of our drawing, you will only need a marker or a pencil or a pen, any kind of drawing utensil. I'm just going to use a black marker. Okay, let me just see who else has chimed in while you guys get set up. While I get set up. Let's see. Caesar is here. Hi, Caesar. Good morning. And Alexander, welcome to art class. Alexander, I wore one of your necklaces in my video yesterday. It brought me so much joy. Thank you. And Harula is here. Great. And Christopher. Hi, Miss Putz. We have the whole Pruitt clan. That's great. And Miss Jessica is here, and Reed. Awesome. Thank you all for joining us. So we're going to get started with our drawing now. I'm just going to use a white piece of paper and a marker. We're going to make an image of mountains. We're going to draw two mountains, a tree, and a moon. And then we'll come back and paint it with cool colors. Okay, for our first mountain, it's going to be over here on the side of our paper. And it's just a large triangle. So I'm going to start near the bottom, near the center of my paper, and draw a large triangle. My triangle might just come off the edge of the paper here, and that's okay. Your triangle might go all the way down to the bottom. Just let your line form and kind of follow where your marker leads you. Right? There's no wrong way. It's great if all of our artwork looks a little bit different. So one big triangle. We're going to make a smaller triangle next to it. This second mountain will look like it's behind the first mountain. The way we can create that illusion is by showing just part of it coming up and then going down. So things that are closer to us in nature appear larger, and things that are farther away appear smaller. So if you look out your window, you'll see a tree that is closer to you may look larger, and a tree that's farther away would look smaller. Same with a mountain. A mountain closer would look bigger, one farther away it might look smaller, okay? And the way that we can show that it's smaller by its size, and also it looks like it's kind of tucked behind that first mountain. Hi, Sophia, welcome. You guys just can jump in wherever you get started. I'm going to take my time since we have people of all ages joining us today, okay? So we have two mountains. Next, we'll do a little tree here at the bottom. This is a landscape drawing. That means we're drawing an image of nature, of the earth, of a landscape. And that landscape does not look like Florida. The sunrise you did with Miss McCown might look like Florida because it was the sun over water. But we don't have mountains here in Florida. But that's okay. We don't have to draw only what we see. We can use our imaginations. So I'm going to start a tree right here. First, I'm going to do the tree trunk, which is just two vertical lines. I'm not even going to connect them at the top. Just two vertical lines. That's our tree trunk. And then for the branches, I'm going to make it kind of like a Christmas tree. I'm just going to use diagonal lines. They might get a little bit bigger at the bottom. I'm going to come back and paint over this tree. So I'm just using diagonal lines. The ones on the left face down towards the left, and the ones on the right face down towards the right. You can kind of just keep going over until your tree is the thickness that you like. Might even do a few lines just kind of straight down. A little smaller right there on the trunk. So for my tree and for my mountains, I've only used straight lines. A lot of the lines are diagonal, but they're all straight. I don't have any curvy or curly lines going on right now. If your lines are curvy, maybe you just have hills instead of mountains. Or maybe you have an oak tree instead of this kind of pine tree. However, your drawing is perfectly fine, and I would love to see pictures of what you guys are making. One last step in our drawing, and then we're gonna jump in with paint. I'm gonna create a moon in my sky so that we know this image is happening at nighttime. For my moon, I'm gonna make a curve. To me, this looks like a letter C, but I think on the video, on the live video, since the camera is reversed, I think it might be a backward C for you. I can't really tell. So just make a big curved shape. Then you're going to make a second curve, but your second curve should be connected to the top curve at the corners. So right here at the corner, I'm going to start, it's just a little bit smaller, like on the inside. Okay, can you guys see that? Let me zoom in a little bit. So this is a crescent shape. So there's one curve on the outside, a curve on the inside, but they connect at the corners. All right, let's see. Yes, Miss Santiago is saying she's going to tune in for the recording. That's the great thing about these live videos. You guys can join us now. But if you come in halfway or you need a little bit more time, if I'm moving too quickly, then you can wait for the recording to finish, and then you'll be able to pause it. Okay, so I feel happy with my drawing. I'm going to move on to add some color. I'm going to be using watercolors. For my watercolors, I need water and a paintbrush. If you do not have watercolor or paint at your house, that's a-okay. You can use markers, colored pencils, crayons, whatever coloring materials you have. We will only be using our cool colors. So if you even want to leave your warm colors in your box or in your cup and just pull your cool colors out, you can do that. Remember, our cool colors on the rainbow are green, blue, and purple. Okay? So let's get started. I am right-handed, and so I'm going to start my painting in the left, on the left side, so that as I paint, I'm not smearing with my wrist. Sometimes we have the luxury of doing this, and sometimes we don't. So I'm actually going to start painting my sky. Then I will paint my mountains, I think, and then I might come back and do my tree last so that it's more dry around my tree, and I want the green on the tree to pop a little bit. Okay, so if you're left-handed, or if this is more comfortable for you, you could start on this side of the paper. There's really not a wrong way, but it is a little less frustrating for smearing, and if it bothers you to get ink on this side of your hand, which it does bother a lot of people, then you can use this trick. Okay, so for my watercolors, first I have to wet my brush, because remember, watercolor palettes are always dry. Okay, so I'm just poking my paint. Remember when I did finger painting on Monday, and I would dip my finger in and paint would come up? That's because I was using acrylic paint. With these watercolors, these are dry, and we have to use the water to activate the paint. Okay, so I'm dipping my brush in my water now. And I want my sky to be a nice dark blue. So I'm going to find a blue, rub that water around a little bit to get it nice and wet. I don't want to dig really hard into the paint, because that will make my paint crack, like this orange is cracked. It's okay if it happens. If we don't have that kind of motor control, it's all right. But if you can be gentle, then go ahead and be gentle with your paint. And then you can get started. Now my paper is vertical so that you guys can see on the video, so I might get a lot of drips, and that's okay if I get some drips. But if your paper is flat, you'll get less drips than I will. Okay, I'm going to try to go around my moon because I like my moon to be kind of a bright white. I need to get some more paint on my brush. Whoop, there's that drip I was anticipating. Maybe if I tilt it this way just a little bit, that will help with the dripping. And some people, when they're painting, they might want to paint only with a circular shape like this. Okay, that might make it look like there's a little bit of movement in the sky, like maybe it's a little bit windy. So even though our sky is going to be all one color, your brush strokes, just like when we're drawing round objects, our lines can show the shape of the object. Your brush strokes can show the movement really of the air. Or if you're drawing an object, then it could show the roundness of an object also. I kind of like the way that's looking, just painting in these little circle shapes. So I'm going to keep doing that. Some people, though, feel a lot of satisfaction if they paint all the way back and all the way forth like this, and can kind of accomplish this feeling of one step at a time. So if you like to paint like that, you can do that too. But for me, on my painting, I'm going to do these little circles. But there's no wrong way. Now, yesterday we talked a little bit about how colored pencils are a great tool if you are feeling like maybe a little bit out of control in your life, or if you have a lot of strong emotions, which we all do at different times of our life. We all experience that. Colored pencils are a great tool to help us regain a sense of control, because you can apply a lot of pressure to the colored pencils. They might snap, but then you can just resharpen them. And you can be gentle with your colored pencil to create a light area of color. You can be more firm with your colored pencil if you'd like your colors to be more dense or dark. And paint is a great medium when you're feeling like you just want to go with the flow. If you're trying to have a ton of control over your artwork, paint might be frustrating because it's so loose. It kind of runs away from the artist or can run away from the paintbrush, depending on how much water you have and how much pigment you have on your brush. But for me today, my mindset is go with the flow. So if my paint wants to drip, that's okay. It's kind of a good practice for me to respond to the medium and to let go of some of that control. So through art, we can really explore our emotions and understand ourselves a little bit better. This is very therapeutic for a lot of people to be able to paint and create like this. Okay, so I'm getting down here close to my tree, and I am going to just paint around the tree for now. I'm going to come back and paint my tree green after I do my mountains. Remember, we want to save that tree for last so that this blue paint is dry around it. I don't want too much mixing. If you paint over your tree, that's okay too. When we go back and do green, your tree might just be kind of like a teal color, but that's okay. That might be interesting. So I'm going to get kind of right up close to it, but continue to go around it. You can see that my paintbrush came into my mountain a little bit, but I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry. Because that purple for our mountains that we're going to do is going to blend right in with the blue, since purple is half blue, right? When we talk about color mixing, purple, you have to use red and blue to create purple. Okay, if you're painting, your water might look something like this. We've only used blue paint so far, or I have. So my water is a nice color blue. I'm gonna switch colors. So when we're cleaning our brushes, we want to gently but purposefully tap the bottom of the jar like this so that all the pigment that's on the brush becomes free and our brush is nice and clear. Then you're gonna gently on the side of your cup get rid of any drips. And I'm gonna move on to purple. So I do need to make sure my brush has a little bit of juice on it, a little bit of water, because I need to activate my purple. So just like my blue was dry before I added water to it, my purple is dry. So I'm gonna spend just a little bit of time just warming up that paint with my water. And I'm going to paint my mountains. I'm going to make my first mountain try to be a little bit darker than my second mountain. So I'm going to make this a nice dark purple. And I'm going to use long straight lines for this. In my sky, I used little circular lines. For my mountain, I'm going to use more long straight lines. But you can paint in whatever way is comfortable to you. This is just what feels good for me right now. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I extend those lines all the way down. If you're painting and your paint starts to look like this, do you see I'm painting but there's not a lot coming off? What do you think that means? What should I do with my brush? I should dip it in my water. I don't need to clean it too much because I'm going back to the same color, but I need to re-wet it and get more paint on my brush. I hear myself saying this as an art teacher in art class all the time. Get some more paint on your brush. Okay, sometimes we enjoy this part so much, the actual applying the paint to the paper, that we forget to first get the paint on our brush. Sometimes with watercolor it runs out pretty quickly, so you're kind of constantly going paper, water, paint, paper, water, paint. Back and forth and back and forth. Also, if you're using watercolor, it's important to remember that step, paper, water, paint. Sometimes we're just so going with the flow with our watercolors that we'll go from our paint back to the water. But if we go from paint to water, then we're kind of wasting paint because we've gathered paint on our brush and then we're emptying it off into the water. My paint water is a beautiful color right now, kind of a periwinkle, which reminds me of you, Elizabeth. I know Elizabeth is joining today, and you told me the week before spring break that periwinkle was your favorite color. My purple and my blue paint made my water cup a really pretty periwinkle. Okay, I'm gonna make my second mountain a little bit lighter. The way you would with watercolor, it's hard to really control the pigment of the paint. But what I'm gonna do is just try to have more water than paint on my brush. So my brush is really wet and I only dipped it in the paint just one time. I didn't roll it around in the paint. When I painted this dark one, I really rolled my brush around in the paint palette. But if I want to make that light purple, I'm going to get a lot of water, not really clean it off, and then I'm just going to just kiss it, just dip it one time, and then try to spread that around really far. Make it last. All right, we are already almost done. You guys are doing great work, I know. I can't see it, but I know because I know each of you are such fabulous artists that you're keeping up and you're doing great work. Okay, so now the last part is our little tree. I want to make it green. So I clean my brush off again in my water cup over here, off to the side. Tapping it on the bottom, tapping it on the edge. I have a few different choices of green. If you have more limited palette, you'll just go to whichever green is available. activate that green with your wet brush. And then you'll paint your tree. I'm basically just gonna paint any of the space that's still white around the tree. Okay, I'm not trying to go over each one of those lines perfectly because we used Sharpie, so we didn't really create a space for ourselves to color the way it would be if you did like a coloring book. But I think just a little green haze around it will give enough of an idea. I'm gonna leave my moon white so that it looks like it's glowing in the sky, but if you'd like to paint your moon, if you have white, you could paint it white, or whatever color you want. Sometimes we see the moon represented as yellow because it's reflecting the sun's light. That would incorporate a warm color into our painting. So I'm just gonna leave it white so it stays all cool. All right, friends. I hope you enjoyed your cool colored art lesson. I'm gonna sign off, but if you're still painting, please take your time and enjoy the process. I'll flip my phone around and show my email again and the art Instagram so that if you guys have pictures of your artwork and you'd like for us to see it or to share it, then you can send it our way. We love seeing what you guys are making at home. Yeah, so it's really great. Let's see. I see Mr. Sontag says cool colors are his favorite. Yay. And hi, Miss Morrow. Thank you guys for joining us. Okay, so let me just flip this around. While I'm getting this paper out, I will say what I'm grateful for today, and I want to hear what you guys are grateful for also. Today, I'm grateful for art. I'm grateful for my art materials, that it allows me, like I was talking about with the different mediums, allowing me to feel through my emotions, and the paint lets me kind of remember to go with the flow, and the color pencils help me gain a sense of control and clarity with my thoughts. So I'm so grateful that I have art as a resource to be able to organize my thoughts and feelings. And I'm very grateful that I have the awesome job of being your art teacher to help you navigate those emotions through your art as well. Okay, so let me just take this and flip it around. Let's see. Okay, so I always show these at the end of my videos. The YouTube channel for all of the live classes are being downloaded to the YouTube channel. It's NFSSC Resource Classes. Miss Cooley has a fantastic new garden video that's been uploaded. It was shared last night. So if you guys haven't seen it, she and Miss Morrow go and tour the horse barn so you guys can see what's going on with the horses at school. The art Instagram is NFSSE_art. That's where we're sharing a lot of artwork that you guys are sharing with us and staying connected to the community. And my email is gwilliams@northfloridaschool.org for the same thing. If you guys want to communicate, catch up, or share your artwork with me and Miss McCown, then I would love to see it. All right. Don't forget to tune in with Mr. Sontag at 11 o'clock and Miss Santiago at 3 o'clock, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.